While President Trump wants to protect prayer in public schools, our EWTN White House team was in the Oval Office today when the president made his announcement.
In public schools around the country, authorities are stopping students and teachers from praying, sharing their faith, or following their religious beliefs. It is totally unacceptable. You see it on the football field. You see it so many times where they're stopped from praying, and we are doing something to stop that.
President Trump wants states to notify the Education Department if schools try to block a student's right to pray. He's also trying to make it easier for religious groups to use federal money to provide social services. The president made the announcement in conjunction with Religious Freedom Day. And joining us now from the White House is Joe Grogan, assistant to the president and director of the Domestic Policy Council. Joe, welcome back. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Joe, I want to start out by talking about this new guidance on prayer in public schools. Why now, and why is it important for the administration to take these steps?
Well, the guidance is supposed to be updated every 2 years by law, but hadn't been updated since 2003. And what we found when we came into the administration is a number of school districts all over the country were under the misimpression that perhaps students and teachers were not able to express their faith publicly, and that's what you saw today in the Oval Office. Students and teachers sharing their stories of being discriminated against. There was a very moving story from a young woman who wanted to gather with a group of fellow students in the cafeteria and pray for a classmate and a classmate's family member who'd been in an accident, and they were informed by the principal, no, you can't do that in front of other people. You need to leave the cafeteria, do this behind a curtain or somewhere hidden. You can't be seen doing this because it might offend others. And we heard from a young woman who was Muslim who wanted to pray before meals and faced bullying from some students. And when she complained to the principal told her, no, it's your fault for your public display of faith. And really, this is unacceptable. These students have a First Amendment right to express their faith if they so choose. The Bible, the Quran, the Torah are just as legitimate to be brought into school, to be read. And these students need to be able to be appreciated, and schools are not allowed to discriminate against them, and principals are not allowed to get in their face when they do things like this. And the other thing that the secretary did in this rule is two things. One, she said, look, you need to provide students an opportunity to lodge a complaint, and you need to adjudicate those complaints. Maybe they're not all going to be legitimate, but you need to evaluate them, and you need to inform the Department of Education how you evaluate them. And then there were other things that we're doing at the Office of Management and Budget, where we'll be sending out a memo to all federal agencies to say, look, when you distribute funds to states, you need to make sure those states do not discriminate against faith-based organizations. This is a direct result of a Supreme Court decision, the Trinity Lutheran decision, where Trinity Lutheran wanted to apply to improve their playground to make it safer, and they applied for funds, and because it was a religious organization, they were told, no, you can't do this secular purpose of making your playground more safe for kids. These laws sometimes are on the books. There are Blaine amendments in 37 states, which are a direct result of anti-Catholic bias, which anybody who understands the historical and legal record knows the history of those, why they came into being, which was really suspicion of Catholics, and they're not operative. They cannot be enforced against religious organizations when they're distributing, when they're applying for federal funds. And federal agencies need to make sure that states are not using federal funds to discriminate against organizations.
Joe, today, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just want to get to this question before we run out of time. Today, the administration also proposed rules to protect religious organizations. How do they help to level the playing field?
Well, the other thing is 9 federal departments are issuing rules to put religious organizations in the same level footing as secular organizations when delivering services. So the Obama administration had issued a rule that presumed that citizens who went into a religious organization for services might be offended by the religious nature of that organization, and they needed to be informed. Hey, look, if you're offended by a religious nature, we are obligated to find you a secular provider. One, it's patronizing to American citizens to presume that they may be offended by people of faith. Two, it's treating religious organizations differently. It's putting them under an additional burden that secular organizations might not face. So we made it clear that that is no longer operative, and we took that rule down and rewrote it to make it clear from all these 9 federal agencies in harmony, all at once. We're no longer going to allow that to happen, and everybody's going to operate on the same playing field.
Well, Joe, we're running out of time, but I really want to ask you this quickly. Let's talk about Religious Freedom Day and its significance, especially now, where there seems to be a growing number of attacks on the faithful, in particular those of the Jewish faith.
No question. We heard from a young woman of Jewish faith today about the discrimination she faced in public school. It's a big issue, and we all need to talk about it. Whatever your faith, and people, frankly, of no faith, should be concerned about attacks on young people of faith, on adults of faith. This is a very, very disturbing trend that we're seeing, the contempt for people of faith, discrimination on it. And the president gets this. I mean, the president wants to be part of this fight. He wants to push back. Today, he was asked about whether or not there was a cultural war going on, and he said, yes, clearly there is. When people of faith are being pushed out of the public square, pushed out of civic life, we need to push back. We need to expand that space, whether it's as simple as saying Merry Christmas again, which he's proudly saying and isn't ashamed to, but making sure that people of faith are celebrated and appreciated for expressing their spiritual lives in public if they so choose.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Joe Grogan, Assistant to the President and Director of the Domestic Policy Council. Thank you.
Thank you.